My presentation today is around the investigation that I'm currently and hopefully concluding around information security management in the context of smart city organizations. This is my fourth and final year, and a little bit of background. This presentation is more to represent my data analysis results and a bit of discussions. After doing my literature review, an extensive literature review on the different themes of my research, we've concluded around the importance, we've highlighted the importance of information security management in the context of smart city organizations. And then we identified organizational factors that are expected to influence this information security management in the context of smart city organizations. This actually was the topic of the published paper that I worked on with Dr. Tilal and Dr. Ammar. And from there, it was time afterwards to discuss or to test our developed survey instrument, where we list all of these organizational factors influencing information security management, and then looking at them from an organizational performance lens. We will discuss a little bit the organizational factors. You can see them: leadership attitude, legislative compliance and influence, etc. We'll discuss them more when we talk about the results of the data analysis. So, how have we progressed forward? We've adapted a quantitative type of empirical work, and it was targeting information security professionals, managers, and executives. We used online platforms, so we'll be talking about that in the next slides, and we tried to balance between smart cities and non-smart cities. This was actually one of the important aspects in the research. How do we identify smart cities from non-smart cities? And we then adapted what is called the ESA ranking, which is a public ranking of cities. We actually considered the top 100 cities on the ESA ranking to be smart and the other cities to be non-smart. The ESA ranking, in brief, it talks about, actually it evaluates cities all around the world by their economy, by their human capital, social cohesion, environment and public management, governance, urban planning, international impact, and technology. So it's not only about technology, it's also about other things which identify a smart city from a non-smart city. So having progressed into the quantitative work, we've then moved forward towards a pilot study of 2 rounds with academic and professional participants, then towards the main study. I've contacted around 9,000 people on LinkedIn just to attempt to send them the survey messages, and I was accepted by 4,000 people. So this is during 1 month, around 4,000 people, and these people are the ones who received my survey request. So to participate in this survey request, these were all information security professionals, managers, or executives. The survey was performed on Google Forms, which is a very good platform for guaranteeing a good survey data and good survey platform for guaranteeing, the integrity of the data and the anonymity of participants. Afterwards, data was organized and collected. SPSS data analysis was done to validate the constructs and test the reliability of the data. And we did adopt multiple types of tests to calculate conversion validity and discriminant validity. We did 3 tests for the discriminant validity: cross-loading, HTMT, and then there is another one. And then we did the structural equation modeling, SEM equations, to validate the hypotheses that we have in our research. And this was done. Sorry, it doesn't. The model does not look. This is on Smart PLS. So Smart PLS, which was a good choice to adapt when we talk about models with 2 dependent variables and predictive type of work, which is the case of my research for smart cities. So let's go directly to the results. These are the significance values or significance of the hypotheses. And I will take some time, or a few minutes, not much, to explain a little bit of what's going on here. So these are the organizational factors that you see. So these are the organizational factors that we identified from the literature to be influencing information security management in smart city organizations. And then their significance in smart city, in non-smart city, and then the complete data set. And you can see in red the values which are where the hypothesis is valid, which is around on 95% of what's called the alpha factor. So to explain a little bit, ARTD is adaptation to rapid technology development, the ability of an organization to adapt rapidly to adapt to rapid technology movement. And this is one of the major factors inside a smart city because it's fast moving and it requires efforts to develop. We have not found any significant evidence, for example, for the adaptation on rapid technology development, which is not very nice to see in cities that claim themselves as smart, but then when we test them inside their own organizations, you don't see significant evidence to validate such things. Then you have the bureaucracy, and this is the bureaucratic standing. So the more or less the satisfaction of the bureaucratic standing, you can see in non-smart cities there is satisfaction of the bureaucratic processes inside the organizations, though that was not found in smart cities, which could be an indicator that people are just not satisfied. There's too much complexities, too much new technologies being just dropped in, but then not much processes around them to manage and control and operate. Number 3, employees' compliance with policies, and this is very important for information security issues, mainly because when we talk about smart cities, single information security problems could cause disasters. And you can just check out the news from the region or from outside, where you can see a lot of things around information security issues causing disasters. So employees' compliance, also no significant evidence. So number 4, information and communication technologies, and this is around the best utilization of the infrastructure. Currently, organizations consider internet as just internet, while there needs to be processes and controls in place to monitor and enhance the utilization of the ICT infrastructure, mainly because when we talk about smart cities or even modern cities, there's a lot depending on this ICT infrastructure. In the case of a bank, for example, their whole online services are now what runs the business. And if there are no teams in charge of these, then we have issues. And when issues happen, they either blame someone or they either blame the provider, right? They change provider every few months or every few years. Then we had, among the organizational factors, inter-organizational collaboration and intra-organizational collaboration. And this is very important, and this was discussed in multiple literature, like very popular literature around smart cities, especially Shurabi et al. 2011, which is one of the very popular smart city documents or papers. And both of them, we have not been able to find significant evidence to their presence. Leadership attitude, and this is around the involvement of the leadership inside the organizations into information security processes and decision making. And it is also not satisfying until now. And you consider all of these results, and this is 2018, and many cities, especially ones which were highly included in the research, have actually targets in 2020 to becoming smart. So what type of smartness are we really talking about? Marketing smartness or real actual smartness? To proceed. Skilled workforce, and this is something interesting that we have found significant evidence around. Skilled workforce. There is evidence that organizations are actually putting effort towards developing the skills of their employees through education or trainings. And this is a good start, though definitely not good enough. We talk about, there is also before that, legislative influence, LI. So legislative influence in smart cities, this is one of the good factors also around smart cities. So significant evidence was found towards the validation that there is legislative influence. Though when we talk about non-smart cities, these people are feeling the legislative influence, though in reality it's not happening, mainly because non-smart cities do not have legislations and laws around cybersecurity, and therefore this could be actually the influence of the media and the news that they are seeing. And then we have vendor selection, so information vendor selection influence, and this is the decision making when we talk about choosing technologies and managing how technologies get chosen when we talk about organizations. And this is important mainly because the right decisions or the right technologies could make all the difference when we talk about competition, and smart cities are all about competition. The development of this tool is actually to attempt a measurement around the smartness of specifically information security departments and smart city organizations. So that's part of the research goal. And then we have at the end the information security management on organizational performance, and this is the lens that we are trying to adapt to look at all of these organizational factors, and you can see it valid in all of the contexts that we have seen. This is a good indicator too, that around participants. So from a conclusions perspective, we have seen some evidence in the results around the development of smart cities or the push towards smart cities, though as far as the results that we have and as far as the evidence and the tools that we have, there's not enough development. There's not enough evidence towards securing the infrastructures inside smart cities, though that brings us back to the literature. Why? Because since 2008, Holland's 2008 started by warning people around the criticality of having vendors and big, large companies trying to influence everyone around through marketing material or marketing data. And it has been discussed many times in the literature that the smart city context or the smart city concept is highly being influenced by very large organizations, and cities committed towards becoming smart are actually committed towards specific vendors or specific organizations that are selling the technology, though that does not mean that they are in reality going to be smart. Holland's actually, there's another paper from Cruikshank 2011, Cruikshank et al. 2011, which also discussed the same issue. Holland's in 2015 came back with a new journal paper that is also extremely important, discussing the same issues again, mainly because it's been years and not much time left. Okay, I'm finished. So it's been years and it's still the smart cities, or what we call now smart cities, are mainly influenced by the naming and the branding of the smart city. I can give an example. There was a paper around IBM buying actually the name smart city, copywriting the name smart city. That was one of the scandals that was, there is a whole paper around that specifically in the literature. So further research, it is important for smart cities to actually become smart. There's a lot being done, but there's more that needs to be done. From a smart cities perspective, we do believe that this tool needs to be probably enhanced and maybe adapted to other departments. Will it then do the job? We need to just, it could be an opportunity for further research. It's definitely also important to investigate the reasons why this is happening. We need to just, in Arabic we say نحط الإيد على الجرح, which is identifying the spot where things are going wrong and try to make them look better. It's been 10 years that the literature has been telling us about these issues in the smart cities concept, yet we should, that we're not listening to the literature clearly. Probably something that could be looked into in future research. Thank you for your time.